let's give you some impact in 5 minutes. Let's pop over to the slides for this impact show. Let's pop over here then. Now, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about Satir, Virginia Satir's 5 presenters. Now, Virginia Satir was a famous therapist from NLP world, and she used these 5 presenters in her in the ways she treated people. But they're great ways of looking at how people present online, especially, or in rooms, the 5 presenters. So let's have a quick look at these, and I'll tell you about the best one that's coming up. The first one was known as the placater. Love that picture, don't you? It means somebody has low self-esteem, they're trying to please all the time, they're worried about what you think about them. And you look at that body language of submission as well, as that's the placater. Then you've got the computer speaker. This is somebody who will always go behind the podium, quite robotic and computerized, lots of facts and details, and not particularly very emotional either. Then you got my favourite, the distractor. Now the distractor is trying to get your attention all the time. They'll use all sorts of different methods in order to get your attention, the distractor. They'll use emotions as well. Then you've got the blamer speaker. The blamer, as you can see from the lovely picture there, is blaming people all the time, quite aggressive kind of individual. Now the one we want to be doing, of course, is the leveller. The leveller speaker. Love that picture, don't you? This person is confident, assured, good self-esteem, and very confident of their ability to present. So let's now take a look at some of the body language that we're going to be showing so we become a leveller speaker. Now the leveller speaker is assertive. That's the first thing about them. How do they become assertive in a public speaking environment? Well, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to stand and deliver. A bit like Adam Ant said years ago, didn't they? They're going to stand and they're going to present information to the audience. They're not going to sit down. Even if it's online, they will stand because it gives you that authority, that assertiveness. When they're standing, they will stand in the right way. We call this the assertive stance. Now, the assertive stance is, well, you can't see my feet, can you? But imagine my feet are both firmly plonked on the ground, about the same width as my shoulder, and I'm not moving around unnecessarily. Particularly online, movement is not a good thing unless you can help it. So that's the assertive stance. What the leveller will also do is she will protect her midline. Now the midline is this invisible line between your forehead and the floor, and what you want to do is not block it. You want to keep it open. A lot of speakers, you see, will do this with their hands. They're blocking the midline. Or there'll be a table in front of them, or a podium, for the worst things. What you want to do is keep that midline open because it shows that you're confident and assured. That's protecting the midline. They use gestures, the leveller. Gestures are symmetrical. In other words, both arms are in action at the same time. They're not one there and one there, for example. They will use gestures in order to emphasize points, to describe things as well. Don't turn into a windmill here. I've seen people do all of this all the time. No, good, solid, strong gestures from the shoulder as well, not from the elbows. That's quite a weak gesturing. Depends on the camera and where you're presenting from, of course, will allow you to do gestures. Now, rapport gestures are similar things. These things allow you to build rapport with your audience. Now, that picture I showed you earlier, he was doing this. He was bringing his audience into his message by using rapport gestures. Eyes on the lens is the next one. You're looking at the lens of the camera. That's where your audience are, aren't they? And hopefully that's where you are. If you're in a room, of course, you'll be wanting to look at people's eyes. Confident, assured people, levelers, always look the audience in the eye. And when you're online, you don't take your eyes off the camera lens. And make sure the camera lens is quite close to people so you can see both at the same time. You can move the camera around to get that effect. So eyes on the lens is the assertive way, of course. And the final one is congruency. All of this body language is congruent with their message. The message is the information they're giving, the call to action, and it's all congruent with their body language. And that, my friends, is the leveller assertive speaker.